everyone, and thank you for joining us for yet another Surefire Local webinar. Thanks for coming out. My name is Patrick. I am your speaker as well as your host for today's session. Our topic for you here today is the new Google Playbook, turning customer intent into local leads. So, just in case anyone out there may be unfamiliar with Surefire Local, our mission here is to help you make online marketing easy by providing your business with a next generation platform that is available everywhere you need it. We provide the software you need to attract customers and grow profits efficiently, and all from one place. So today we're coming to you live. Later on, you are going to receive a link to this full recording as well as all of the presentation slides via email. So there's no need to worry about furiously taking notes. You can just sit back and relax while you're here. Please do check your spam folders for Surefire Local later on today, just in case you do not see that email. You can also share feedback with us at any time by emailing us, and that is marketing@surefirelocal.com. If you have any questions for us while you're here, please utilize the questions tab from the GoToWebinar control panel. Also, please check out the resources page on our website. There you can view the back catalog of previous webinars on a wide variety of topics such as this, as well as ebooks and other resources that are all available to you free and on demand. So let's jump into it and going over the agenda for today. All right, so, well, before we dive in, I guess, let me set some clear expectations for our time together here today. This is not going to be a technical deep dive full of jargon. Instead, we're focusing on practical, actionable insights you can start using right away. We'll walk through how the customer search journey has fundamentally changed, explore the specific platforms where your potential customers are making buying decisions, and most importantly, give you a clear roadmap for capturing those high intent searches that turn into actionable revenue. By the end of today's session, you'll understand exactly where to focus your energy to get the biggest return on your investment, time and money. All right, setting the stage, part one. So we're going to start by getting everyone on the same page about what is actually happening in local search as of right now. The way customers find and choose businesses has transformed dramatically. And if you're still marketing the way you did even 2 years ago, you're likely losing ground to competitors who've adapted to these changes already. Customers don't just search anymore. Think about the last time you needed any kind of service, maybe a plumber or a restaurant, or for a special occasion, or maybe an HVAC person in the middle of a blazing hot Texas summer day, whatever it may be. You probably didn't just type keywords into a search box and browse through 10 blue links. Instead, you likely expressed what you needed in a full sentence. You checked the map results, you read reviews, looked at the various photos, and maybe even asked an AI for recommendations. So that's the modern search journey. And it reveals something very crucial. Every search is now a window into customer intent. When someone searches AC repair near me at 1 p.m. in the afternoon of an August afternoon, they're not browsing, okay? They're ready to buy, or they're stressed out. And if you're not visible within those crucial moments across multiple platforms, then your competitors are the ones capturing those customers instead. Search looks different in 2025 and will continue into 26. The search results page your customers see today looks radically different from what it looked like even a year ago. So at the very top, before anything else, Google is now serving AI generated overviews that summarize these answers. Okay, so they're putting in the entire long stream of thought or sentence into the search box. These AI summaries pull from the most clear, trustworthy sources they can find. Below that, they've got the local map pack, like we've discussed in the past, those 3 businesses with the pins. And then increasingly, people are bypassing Google entirely, going straight to things like TikTok or Facebook to search for local services, especially those younger demographics. What this means for you is that being visible isn't just about your website anymore, or even just what kind of content you're putting out. It's about showing up across this entire ecosystem with consistent, clear information that both humans and AI alike can easily understand and, most importantly, trust. All right, but Google is still the king. Now, with all these changes, you might wonder if Google still matters. Well, the answer is absolutely and emphatically yes. Google still drives the vast majority of local business discovery. Here's what's changed though. You can't just rely on your website ranking anymore. Success on Google now means dominating multiple real estate areas. Your Google business profile needs to be optimized. Your map presence needs to be strong. Your reviews need to be current. And yes, your website still matters. So it's a lot of the topics we've always described in the past, but now having a cohesive control over all of these things is what's becoming even more critical as the days go on. The businesses winning in local search right now are treating Google like a multi-channel platform, not just your search engine. They're combining free optimization with strategic ad spend, and they're seeing their competitors fade into page 2 while they capture the leads and the customers. All right, part 2. Where customers are looking. Now we understand our landscape and how it's kind of shifting. Let's get specific about where your customers are actually looking when they need your services. Understanding these platforms and how they work together is essential for building a strategy that actually drives calls and bookings. Google Search and Maps. Google Search and Maps are still the heavyweight champions of local discovery. But, all right, they've evolved into something much more sophisticated than just the simple search engine. It's been going on for a while, but hear me out. When someone searches for a business like yours, what they see first is the local 3-pack. Essentially, the 3 businesses that Google decided are most relevant, most trustworthy, and most likely to solve that person's problem. Think of this as the modern equivalent of having your business listed on the front cover of the Yellow Pages. All right, for those younger customers, what a Yellow Pages were, it was a thing called a phone book. And before the internet, we just had these big books that got dropped off at your house, and they had everybody's phone number and all the businesses' phone numbers and lots of ads there within. Okay, so just think about, instead of being able to pull up your phone and get what you need, you had to thumb through this giant tome that everyone had at their house. That was the Yellow Pages. The difference is from more traditional to today. The difference is that earning the top spot in Google isn't just about proximity anymore. Okay, Google looks at dozens of signals. Are you actively posting updates? We talk about that your Google business profile and your social media. It isn't something that you can just do once. It's a living that you can do once, set and forget. It's a living animal that you constantly needs to be fed. Okay, the difference is earning the spot isn't just about proximity anymore. We said that. Google looks at dozens of signals. Are you actively posting updates? Okay, we went over that. Do you have fresh reviews? Okay, we talk a lot about this in our sessions. Are your photos current? If those previous viewers are going to start seeing a lot of themes. Is your business information accurate and consistent? these kind of things. The businesses that treat their Google presence like a living, breathing storefront, an animal that you constantly have to feed, rather than a set it and forget it listing, are the ones that dominate in these results. What happens after someone performs a Google search? Just kind of go over this. This data should fundamentally change how you think about your marketing budget. Look at what actually happens after someone searches. Nearly 45% are just not doing anything. They get their answer and they move on. Another third clicked on organic listings. But here's what's fascinating. Paid ads only captured less than 1% of clicks, while AI overviews captured 0.5%. What this tells us is that the war for attention is being won in the organic map pack results, not in paid ads alone. Now, we are not saying ads don't have a place. They absolutely do. What we're talking about is your foundation. See, your foundation has to be a strong organic presence. So if you're pouring all your budget into ads while ignoring your Google business profile, your reviews, and your local SEO, then you're building a house upon sand. AI is changing search. So let's share something that might surprise you. The way you write about your business on your website now determines whether AI tools will recommend you or not. When Google's AI or Chat GPT pulls information to answer questions like, how much does a roof repair cost in Austin? They're looking for clear, direct answers written in plain English. They're not interested in marketing fluff or keyword stuff content. They want straightforward, helpful, genuine information. So this is actually good news for small businesses, especially because it levels the playing field. You don't need to focus on a lot of the fancy SEO tricks. You just need to answer your customers' real questions clearly and honestly. Create a FAQ page, frequently asked questions and answers. Write blog posts that directly address common concerns. Okay, so we talked about this in the past when we talk about Google Business Profile. Make sure that you use the FAQ portion of a Google Business Profile to ask and address a lot of those questions, those more common questions that your customers have to say to you. Get ahead of the conversation and put your answer out there. Okay, so this is the same practice just on your website and through your blogs. Okay. It's also very important to explain your pricing structure, okay? And the businesses that embrace this shift towards clarity and helpfulness and being genuine are the ones that are going to get featured within the AI results. So in a way, it's here to kind of make things a little bit more honest, and it's going to help you out as a small business. Part 3, spotting the buying signals. So now we're getting to the part that directly impacts your bottom line, understanding buyer intent. Not everyone who searches is ready to buy. And if you can learn to identify and prioritize the high intent signals, you'll capture more customers while spending less time and money chasing the tire kickers or the looky-loos or the fact finders, etc. So not every search means a sale. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see local businesses make, treating every website visitor or search impression like it's a hot lead. The reality is much more nuanced, all right? Some people are in early research mode, and that's important. They're trying to understand their options, educate themselves, or get ballpark pricing. They're kind of trying to get their head wrapped around a situation. Others that are out there, they're more actively comparing you to competitors. Maybe they're a little bit more farther along in their customer journey. So they're comparing you to competitors, they're reading reviews, and they're narrowing down their choices bit by bit. And then there's a smaller but crucial group that's ready to call or book right away. Understanding these different stages matters because it tells you where to focus your energy, time, and money. You want to make sure you're absolutely crushing it for that ready to buy segment. That's where speed, visibility, and trust matters most. For the earlier stage browsers, you want to be present and helpful. So that they remember you when they're ready to buy. But what are those sort of 4 clues someone's ready to buy? All right. Let me give you 4 telltale signs that someone is in buying mode, not browsing mode. First, they're asking specific questions. How much does it cost to fix a roof leak? Very pointed. And that is very different from what is roofing. You get what I'm saying? Second, they're making comparisons using words like best or cheapest or most reliable. Then they're in decision mode. Third, they're checking availability with searches that include near me, open now, or emergency. So they need help now, not next week, right away. Okay, so they have an immediate present need. And 4, they're reading reviews carefully. Trust is the final checkpoint before they pick up the phone, call, and make an appointment. When you see these signals in your search data or customer interactions, these are your highest value opportunities. These are the searches you need to dominate, the questions you need to answer clearly, and the moments where response speed makes all the difference. Okay. Why questions matter. Here's a simple truth that most businesses are going to overlook. People are literally telling you what they want to know by the questions they type into search engines. When you answer those exact questions on your website and your Google business profile, you're basically handing Google and AI tools exactly what they need to recommend your business. So let me give you a concrete example. If you're a plumber and someone searches, do you fix water heaters? Search. And your website has a page that clearly says, yes, we repair and replace water heaters. Here's what we do, followed by points. Then you've just matched their intent perfectly. Google sees that match. AI sees that match. The customer sees that match. It sounds almost too simple, but I can't tell you how many times business websites that I visit that make me hunt around for basic information like that. Okay, so they just sort of focus on what they think everybody's going to need, and they're not covering all their bases or answering these questions. So what do? You go on your website and you create, and you focus on your Google business profile, both. You could post the same material there to both places. You go to them and you create that FAQ section, or you populate it. You answer the questions you get asked every day. You use the same language your customers use, and you use the same language you use to reply to your customers. This one change alone is going to dramatically improve your visibility and get you show up on those new searches. Near me, quote, quote, equals ready to buy. When someone adds near me to their search, and I've done this so many times when I've had a real problem. When someone adds near me to their search, they've basically raised their hand and said, I need this service in my area right now. Not tomorrow, not in an hour. I don't have the luxury to look around now. So this is the highest intent search behavior you can ever hope for. Man, if you're a local business, especially home services, this is the holy grail. So we know that, and yet still see businesses every day who lose these customers because their Google business profile has outdated hours, their address is inconsistent across platforms. So it's a common theme that comes up in our webinars, or their service area isn't clearly defined. They haven't built out their map, they haven't focused on GeoJuice, they haven't added their photos built with the appropriate keywords to build out their service area, etc. But here's the thing about near me searches, all right? They're often happening on mobile from someone who's in the middle of a problem. This is so very true. So it doesn't just matter whether or not they're in their car or they're at their house. When you got an immediate problem, you grab the phone and you're typing such and such near me. So the businesses that show up correctly, or the business that shows up correctly, has accurate information and responds the fastest and is there when they call, etc., is going to win the customer almost every time, flat out. If you take nothing else away from today's session, just here it is. Here's the one thing. Make sure your basic business information is accurate everywhere. Set up notifications so you respond to inquiries immediately, and make it dead simple, as easy as possible for mobile users to call you with one tap. And we talk about this a lot, but the number one leads you want to get for a small business, or the reason that people turn to small businesses, especially home services, is they have that immediate need. You're pulling out your phone, you're panicked, you're stressed, you're looking it up right away. And we bring this up often so much. Don't have different hours on your Facebook versus your website versus your Google business profile. Have accurate information everywhere. Make sure that you're notified when they click and when they try to make that appointment. Make that phone number available, because when you're stressed out, you're not going to want to go through a bunch of prompts. You're not going to want to go through and fill out a bunch of form fields. You want to call and talk to a human being and speak your human problem to another human being. And when that call comes through, you've got to be available. Go over that quite a bit. All right, moving on to reviews. Reviews equal instant trust. Let's talk about our big elephant in the room. The elephant in the room in almost every webinar that we have, and that is reviews. So I know asking for reviews feels uncomfortable for a lot of business owners. It feels sometimes like you're begging. But here's the reality. Over 90% of consumers read reviews before choosing a local business. So maybe not something that our last group, the near me right now, needed to do, but we're moving on to sort of that second area of, okay, I now have to I've got some time and I want to compare. So 90% of consumers, they're reading reviews before choosing a business. Reviews have become the digital equivalent of word of mouth referrals. And here's what makes that even more powerful. It's not just about having good reviews, it's about having recent reviews. Okay, we talk about that a lot. A business with 50 5-star reviews from 3 years ago every time it looks less trustworthy than a business with 34.5-star reviews from the past 3 months. Why? Because recent reviews signal they're actively serving customers right now, and they continue to do so. They also give Google fresh signals that your business is active and engaged. And here's something people often miss: how you respond to reviews, both positive and negative, tells potential customers as much about your business as the reviews themselves. Show grace, professionalism, and genuine commitment to the customer satisfaction. And even a negative review can work in your favor. So another theme that comes up a lot of this, when you get that negative review, that is going to happen. Everyone gets them. It says a lot to prospective customers that are doing their research and comparing reviews to see how your business replies to someone in complete frustration and an upset customer. You're showing your community and you're showing your prospects how you deal with, how you help someone along in probably a very stressful moment in time when they needed help. How did you address the very worst possible scenario? Says a lot to your business culture and helps move people along in choosing your business for their needs. All right, part 4, setting up to win. So we've covered the landscape, we've identified where customers are looking, and we've learned to spot buying signals. So now it's time to talk about setting up your business to actually capture those customers. And this is where strategy becomes execution. Your online footprint. Your online presence is like your digital storefront, except it's spread across multiple locations, your website. your Google profile, Facebook page, Yelp, industry-specific directories, and more. We could spend a good chunk of the day going over them. But here's the critical part. They all need to tell the same story. When your business name, address, and phone number are different across platforms, it doesn't just confuse customers, it actively hurts your rankings because Google can't figure out which information is correct, okay? But when everything is consistent, accurate, and complete, it builds this compounding effect of trust and authority. And it gives the algorithm and AI, a greater foundation, okay? It's not the house built on sand. So you got to think of each individual listing, every page, each post as another opportunity for a potential customer to discover you and for you to shore up all your information online and make it simpler and easier for Google and the AI and what have you to find you. So the businesses that win aren't necessarily doing anything magical or that heavy and technical. They're just making sure all their digital properties are accurate, up to date, and working together to tell a cohesive story about who they are, and what they offer, and where. All right, content that attracts customers. So we're going to just demystify content marketing a little bit. You just don't need a professional writer or have a huge content budget. I'm not saying they can't help. They still a very immense amount of help, but you don't need to put the horse before the cart, as in you don't have to focus or make sure you have that before you begin, okay? Here's what you need. You just need to be helpful and clear. The best content for local businesses answers real customer questions in simple language. Write a blog post about how much does AC repair typically cost in Austin, Texas. Create a page for each service you offer, not just a list, but a real page that explains what you do, why it matters, and what customers can expect. Share photos. We always talk about that, photos. Share photos of your team actually doing the work. This is going to help these search results as well as it's, you're putting it online, you're helping to build that service area we talked about. You also post short videos showing before and after results. So the goal isn't to go viral or win big or writing awards, etc. The goal is to provide clear, helpful information that makes potential customers think these people know what they're doing and they'll take good care of me. Here's a bonus. This kind of content is exactly what AI tools are looking for when they need to recommend local businesses. Clarity and honesty are going to win every single time. Showing up in maps and AI. Getting recommended by AI and showing up prominently in maps isn't about gaming the system. It's about being genuinely trustworthy and clear. AI tools are looking for businesses that have consistent information across multiple sources, active engagement with customers, and clear answers to common questions. Google Maps rankings are based on 3 factors: relevance, distance, and prominence. You can't change your distance from the customer, but you can absolutely improve your relevance and prominence. Relevance comes from clear category selections, detailed service descriptions, and content that matches what people are searching for. Prominence comes from reviews, backlinks, citations and directories, and overall online visibility. The businesses that dominate in maps and AI results are the ones that show up consistently everywhere, stay active with fresh content, and have built genuine credibility through customer reviews and engagements. Showing off social proof. Social proof is one of the most powerful tools in your marketing arsenal. And most businesses are sitting on a gold mine without really realizing it. Your happy customers are your best marketing asset. Before and after photos of work you've completed, video testimonials from satisfied clients, case studies that walk through how you solved a real problem. This is all content gold. Why? Because potential customers, they're not trusting ads, but they absolutely trust other customers. When someone's trying to decide between you and a competitor, seeing real results from real people and customer tips, um, seeing real results from real customers tips the scale in your favor. Share this content everywhere. You want to share it on your website, on your Google profile, on all your social media channels. Just don't be shy. Get it out there. You're not bragging. You're showing proof that you deliver on your promises. And here's a pro tip. When customers give you permission to share their story, use their actual words. Don't polish it. Authenticity is what resonates more than perfection. But speed wins. In local service businesses, speed of response is a competitive advantage that's often completely overlooked. I can't tell you how often in my personal life, when you have an issue with your home, almost every time the business and the people that get to you first and address your needs consistently and with speed and with care, they almost always went out. Search shows that the first business to respond to an inquiry often wins the job, period, flat out. Okay, and this is the case even if they're not the cheapest or they don't have the most reviews, etc. Why? It's the quick response signals reliability, availability, and customer focus. If someone requests a quote and you respond in 10 minutes while your competitor takes 8 hours, you've already started building trust. This is incredibly important. So this is where technology can really help, okay? So you set up text alerts for new leads, use chat tools on your website to create after hours inquiries. You create automated responses that let people know you received their message and will follow up quickly. And then you actually follow up quickly. So we've seen businesses transform their conversion rates just by cutting their response time from hours into minutes. In a world where everyone expects an instant gratification, being the fastest responder is often worth more than being the cheapest provider. So putting it all together, we've covered a lot of ground today, and I know it oftentimes can feel overwhelming. So let's bring it all together into a clear, actionable framework you can actually use. The good news is that you don't have to do everything all at once, but you do need to understand how all of these pieces fit together into a cohesive strategy and a whole. All right, the new marketing formula. Here's the formula that's working for successful local businesses right now. Visibility plus answers plus trust equals more calls. All right, that is visibility plus answers plus trust equals more calls. Of course, more calls mean more customers, more revenue. So we're going to break it down. Visibility means showing up where people are searching. Google search, Google Maps, and increasingly in AI overviews. But showing up isn't enough. Answers mean providing clear, direct responses to questions your potential customers are asking. And trust, that means building credibility through reviews, social proof, consistent information, and fast responses. When you nail all three of these elements, something is going to happen magically. Customers stop shopping around and choose you. They find your business. They find the answers to their questions that you've already answered, and they trust you. Why would they keep looking? So this is the new playbook for local marketing. It's not about spending more money on ads, although that can, once you get your foundation, having really important targeted ads is what's going to completely set you over the top. But we're talking about the foundation. Okay, and the foundation is about being visible, helpful, and trustworthy across the entire customer journey. All right, visibility plus answers plus trust equals more calls. All right, get found with Google local services ads. Okay, so once you have your foundation, if now you focus into ads, you can truly set yourself over the top. So local services ads, we've talked about them a lot in the past. This is Google's premium placement specifically for home services businesses, and they appear even above regular paid ads. All right, so the key to success here isn't just about bidding high, it's optimizing the factors that determine your ranking. Response time is huge. Google is literally tracking how fast you respond to leads and ranks you more accordingly. Your operating hours need to be accurate and comprehensive. If you're available evenings and weekends, make sure that's reflected and you're available to talk. And reviews are critical here too. The Google Guarantee badge that comes with these ads only works if you have strong reviews backing it up. So set up your service areas strategically, respond to every lead within minutes, and be prepared to adjust your bids based on your performance. And just in case anyone might be new, remember that the Google local services ads, you are only paying for the appointments booked. When someone clicks on the ad and books the appointment, then you're paying for it, okay? It's not like the traditional pay-per-click ads. Reinforce your priority placement with Google ads. Regular Google ads, they still have their importance and their place in the local marketing mix, especially for high value services or competitive markets. We go in a lot to that in some of our previous sessions. The key is geographic targeting. You want your ads to show only in areas you actually serve. So you use local keywords that match how people in your area actually search. Take advantage of ad extensions to show your phone number, location, reviews, and services directly into the ad. And here's a crucial bit. Make sure your landing pages deliver on what the ad promises and says. If your ad is about emergency plumbing, don't send people to your homepage. Okay, send them to a page specifically about emergency plumbing services with a clear call to action, and monitor your performance weekly. Okay, it's not just set it and forget it. Ads are going to need to be optimized. Claim and optimize your Google business profile, which is this slide right here. Your Google business profile is free, and it's probably the most important piece of online real estate that you own. I'm not saying that you can have this and not have a website. I'm just saying I think this is more important, but you have to have a website. Okay. So most important piece of online real estate you own. All right. It's your main online storefront or billboard. Yet so many businesses have profiles that are barely filled out or haven't been updated in years. All right. They said it and they forgot it. Fill out every single field Google gives you. Choose the most specific categories that apply to your business. You upload those high quality photos regularly. We all have fancy cameras in our pockets, okay? We talk about this a lot. You've got to add your photos, you've got to add your media content, your photos and your videos. Businesses with fresh photos get more engagement, period. That's it right there. All right, that's the perfect reason to have more photos. You want to post updates about your services, your promotions, or company news at least weekly. That's especially true with your Google business profile. Okay, so you have the option to post. People overlook that. You need to post. Use that Q&A feature proactively by posting common questions and answering them yourself. Okay, we went over that before, but it's still very true. Okay, and that Q&A, those FAQs, you can take all that content, you can throw it right on your website. It can be the same, and it's consistent, and it just helps your chances, and it helps the AI tools that are indexing you, finding you. Okay, and of course, you want to respond to every review, positive or negative, professionally and promptly, just like with any other appointment. So this profile is working for you 24/7. So you need to make sure it's putting your best foot forward. All right, just taking a quick review where we are. And we are at leverage the power of Google reviews. So building a consistent review strategy is one of the highest ROI activities you can do, highest return on investment activities. The key is to make it systematic, not random. Identify the moments in your customer journey where people are most likely to be happy. Right after a successful project completion, after a great service call, and then when they express satisfaction, etc. Okay, so that's when you really ask. Make it easy with a direct link that takes them straight to your review page. Don't just say, hey, leave a review, and then you kind of trust the fact that they're going to hunt around and find for you. That's not really going to work. So you want to aim for a steady flow of reviews. 10 to 15 new reviews every 3 months is more valuable than 50 reviews all at once, and that's very true. And you always respond in a timely manner. You need to thank people for positive reviews and address negative reviews professionally and constructively, but you respond to all of them. Your response to a negative review can actually build more trust than the negative review destroys. We talked about that. We talk about that a lot in a lot of other webinars as well. So you build citations and credibility across directory listings. Citations are mentions of your business name, address, and phone number across the web. They matter because they validate to Google that your business is real and legitimate. Start with the major directories. Okay, things like Yelp, Angie, Facebook, Better Business Bureau, and then look for industry-specific directories. The key is consistency. Again, use the exact same business name, address, and phone number like you do everywhere. Once again, even small variations can hurt your rankings. All right, we've been over that time and time again. Got to stay consistent. Many businesses find it helpful to use a citation management service to keep everything consistent across dozens of directories. That does help. Okay, so you are spinning many plates at once. You don't just create a listing and then forget about them. Keep them updated with photos, hours, and information just like you would your Google profile. The good news is you put it on one, you can put it on all of them. Showcase your expertise with Google Images. Visual content is increasingly important and has been for 20 years. When someone searches for your business category, they often click on the Images tab to see examples of work. Make sure you own that space. Upload high-quality photos regularly. Upload them of your team, your work, your facility, etc. Use descriptive file names and alt text that includes locations and service keywords. You go in there and you change the default file name from img_12345 into what they actually are, a descriptive file name and alt text that includes location and service keywords. Say what it is in the file name itself. That truly helps. Then you geotag photos when appropriate. You encourage customers to share their own photos on Google. Then user-generated images build trust. They show your work from the customer perspective, and it means more to a prospective client to see word from to take the word of another customer over yourself. Video is even more powerful. We already know that. Short clips showing your work or explaining your services can significantly increase engagement. Make your website work harder. Okay, make your website work harder. Your website needs to be the hub that ties everything together. Every page should be built with local intent. Include your city or service area naturally in your content. Create separate pages for different locations if you serve multiple areas. Make sure your site is fast, mobile friendly, and easy to navigate. Google ranks mobile experience heavily, more so than it ever has. Add schema markup to help search engines understand your location and services. Create content that answers local questions, and make conversion easy. Clear calls to action. Click to call buttons, very huge. Content forms that are actually going to work and are easy to use. And your website should be working as a 24/7 salesperson. qualifying leads, and making easy for ready to buy customers to take action. So set it up so that your website does a lot of the hard work, and then all you have to do is be available to answer the notification, the call, or the text when it comes in. Optimize your presence for Google AI search. All right, finally, let's talk about positioning yourself for AI search. So our future, this is it, and it is already very much here and part of our daily life. The key is structured, clear content here, okay? Create thorough FAQ sections that directly answer common questions, okay? Something you should be doing anyway. Use simple language without jargon. Organize your service information with clear headers and bullet points. Keep it simple. Keep your business information identical across all platforms. Make it consistent. You just the same stuff everywhere. And maintain an active online presence. AI tools favor businesses that are consistently active and up to date. They are going to favor those that don't set it and forget it, but are constantly feeding the animal. You want to add fresh content regularly in the form of blog posts, updates, or answers to customer questions. The businesses that will thrive in the AI era are the ones that prioritize clarity, consistency, and helpfulness over trying to game algorithms. I'm going to say that again because it's pretty important. The businesses that will thrive in this AI era, which is absolutely here and now, are the ones that prioritize clarity, consistency, and helpfulness over trying to game algorithms. So good news, you don't need to be a technical wizard, you just need to be genuine, but you need to know where to put it all. Okay, so that probably sounds like a whole bunch of stuff and feels overwhelming, but don't worry, that's why Surefire Local is here. So this is the point in the webinar where I invite each and every person that is on the call with us here today the chance to schedule their own session to see how our all-in-one marketing platform will give you complete visibility into your marketing, transparency of ROI, and make it really simple and easy to build your digital footprint and to grow your business profitably as a one-stop source for a lot of the things we just went through here today. So what I do at this point is I put a poll on the screen and I launch that like that. You should see that. Okay. So you got the poll on the screen. Please let us know if you are interested in scheduling a one-on-one call with one of our wonderful subject matter experts after this session, or if you're watching this later on demand in the future, hello from the past, please do request that one-on-one with us at any time by visiting our website. You just go to surefirelocal.com and you click the Get a Demo button in the top right-hand corner. But whether or not you're new or returning with us here today, thanks. We're just simply glad to have you and happy that you came out. I'm going to give that just a few more moments here to let people all get a chance to answer that out. Okay. All right. Well, a few more. Just a few more seconds, and I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Okay, and don't worry if you didn't get a chance to respond. Like I said, just go to surefirelocal.com, click that Get a Demo button in the top right-hand corner, and tell them Patrick sent you. Alrighty, thanks for watching. We're going to say goodbye, and a huge thank you once again for coming out and taking time out of your busy day to spend it with us. We hope to see you back again here on future webinars. Pay attention. We try to do these once a month, the last Tuesday of every month, so pay attention to our channels, our website, and your email inbox for the next session and topic. If you think of any questions after the fact or as you're watching this replay later on demand or from the future, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can send that email with us to us at any time, and that email address is marketing@surefirelocal.com. Please do remember to stop by the website, check out the resources page. You will see the massive and growing back catalog of previous webinars, such as this one, on a wide variety of topics, as well as ebooks and other resources that are all available to you free and on demand. But that is a wrap for this session. We will see you again next month. Thanks for coming out. Take care all. Bye-bye.